Hey guys, Vito from Flat 29 here. As you can see, again, I'm in my garage. I seem to spend a lot of time in here. But today I'm actually in here to talk to you guys about gout. Whether you're clicking on this video because you're like me and you do like to research things, or whether you're clicking on this video because you do actually suffer from gout, or you may think that you suffer from gout, and you're looking for some answers, really. Because generally what you'll find is any condition you have, you'll go to your GP. Your GP will say, hey, this is what it is, this is what you're going to have to do, and you're going to have to take this medication, that medication for X amount of time or forever, and there's no other cure for it. You're just, you're just going to suffer from that condition. I didn't believe this when I was first diagnosed with gout, which was around about 10 years ago. How it started is I woke up one morning and I felt as if somebody had come into my room at night and smashed my foot up with a sledgehammer. That's how painful it was. If any of you guys do have gout, you can probably agree. All depending on kind of where you actually suffer from your gout. The normal places, you're looking at your wrists, your feet, it's mainly your foot, big toe, ankle, sometimes your knees. I certainly know some of my family members get it in their knees. It can be partially hereditary as well, so you're more likely to get it and suffer from it if somebody else in your family has it, so your father, his father, etc. Woke up one morning, absolute agony. We're talking agony to the point where, a light breeze would have sent me kind of screaming in pain. Now, me being me, didn't go to the GP straight away. Thought, I've damaged my foot somehow, I've kicked something in the night, I've gone for a walk in my sleep, had it run over by a car, and not known about it, that kind of thing. So I kind of left it to see if it got better. After a couple of days of being in excruciating pain, I decided, hey, do you know what? I think I've actually done something really serious here. Managed to get a lift to the hospital. They did x-rays, no broken bones. Really confused. Had my blood tests to check my uric acid levels and my kidney function, liver function, and it came back that I had an extreme case of gout. Now, I was told by the GP at the time, I'm going to have to take allopurinol for the rest of my life every single day, or I'm not going to be able to walk because I'll be in so much pain. It's going to come back, and that's how I'm going to have to live my life from now on. Also, me being me, I didn't accept this. I like to research things. I like to make sure that I know exactly what it is that I'm dealing with. Okay, so the research that I'd done, I did a lot of research on what causes gout, what can affect gout, what can set it off, what can give you symptoms, what it can be confused with, the actual medication, the side effects. Side effects, unfortunately, with allopurinol is extreme itching. So I was kind of scratching my ankles raw after the first few months of taking allopurinol, which was not good. It was like I'd been bitten constantly. So you guys, if you do take allopurinol, you probably know what I'm talking about, and you probably hate it as much as I did. Now, I've cured my gout. Okay, I'm going to tell you how. Okay, I'll tell you how I know that I've cured my gout. Every year you're supposed to do a blood test, at least once a year, to check your kidney function, your liver function, your purine levels, how much uric acid's in your blood. Now, the first time I did it, I was way off the chart. The doctor's words were, I'm going to give you the big boy dose of allopurinol, and we'll see what happens. Recently, if you've watched my other videos regarding trying to join the armed forces, my application was unsuccessful, unfortunately. Anybody with gout, which is a form of arthritis, basically, it's a straight decline, so I was unable to join the army. But whilst I was told that I was unable to, I did contest the decision. Now, the only way you can kind of contest the decision is by, of course, being clear of the illness. So I went to the GP, had my blood test. They were confused. I had come back with results saying that I no longer had gout. My kidney function, my liver function were perfect. My uric acid levels were down to not just an acceptable level, they were down to the acceptable level for somebody that doesn't have gout. Now, the GP nurses asked me, did I take allopurinol on the day? Had I been taking it prior to the blood test? Of course, the answer was no. Now, I've actually got a big bag of the stuff stashed at home. Don't know why I keep it, really. My answer to them was I hadn't actually taken it for the last 3 to 5 years. Okay. Now, I've gone from waking up in the morning and not being able to move because it's been so painful to not needing the medication at all. No symptoms. I'm not having to do anything else with my diet anymore. I mean, I'm a vegetarian now, but that's a recent thing, so that hasn't actually affected my previous purine levels. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you guys how you can remove this from your body, how you can get this out of your system. Of course, it's going to be different for everybody, but what I would say is it's a good start. Okay. So there's a few things you've got to do. Okay. The first thing is keep taking your medication to begin with. Okay, because you don't want to be in pain whilst you're trying to get rid of this. Okay, but like anything, if you take medication to stop something from happening, after a period of time, your body will suggest to itself that you no longer need to deal with this yourself because you are getting an external help source from elsewhere. Okay, so your body will stop trying to deal with your purine levels and your uric acid levels as much as it did before. It becomes lazy. Okay, so continue to take your medication to begin with until you feel like you can come off, and then try it a couple of days at a time and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to actually get some information up as well. I'm going to give you links to a few websites that you can watch. You can look at information yourself as well. But the main thing that I would suggest is eliminate purine-rich foods. Okay, now there's a lot of purine-rich foods out there. A lot of the examples you're not going to like. You're not going to be happy to remove these from your diet. The first thing that I would say is beer. Okay, essentially how I ended up with gout is I had quite a long period of time where I was drinking a lot of beer, a lot of takeaways, a lot of purine-rich foods, red meats, bacon. I know that's going to kill some of you guys hearing that, but now, I mean, I'm a vegetarian now, so that wasn't anything to do with the gout. I'd cured the gout long before I decided to become vegetarian. But it's your red meats, it's your bacon, even things like asparagus, tomatoes. But you will have certain triggers. There will be certain things that you will consume which will make it worse for you. You might, love port. You might love drinking port. That might be the cause. Who knows? You might not drink at all. You might just eat takeaways every day. Who knows? You need to look at your own diet and say, hey, when I consume this, it makes it worse. Okay? Now, I know a few people that actually have gout, and the gout is on an attack basis. So they'll have an attack when they consume X, Y, or Z. Okay? And then they'll take their medication. Could be allopurinol, could be one of the other medications that they give you, and they'll have their attack, they'll take their medication, it will go away, and then they'll be fine for weeks. Who knows? But then there are other people whose uric acid levels are so high they will need to take it every single day. Okay, now what I would say is get rid of these purine rich foods out of your diet. even if it's just to begin with. Now, I mean, I eat what I like. Although I'm a vegetarian, if I did decide I wanted to eat steak, I would eat steak, and I wouldn't have an attack with gout because I no longer have it. Okay, guys. So that is part one. Okay, so part one: get rid of uric acid. Get rid of purine-rich foods. Of course, you're always going to produce uric acid, but the actual level that you're going to produce will be increased by those purine-rich foods. Okay, so that's rule numero uno. Okay, and I'm also going to post a link to some websites which will give you some information regarding purine-rich foods. Okay, so I'll put that on the bottom. All right, guys, and I will also give you point number 2. And we're back. Right, guys, okay, so point number 2 is going to be consume water. Okay, lots and lots of water, because as you probably know, I mean, even if you don't know anything about the science at all, is when you urinate, you pass fluids. Okay, so those fluids passing through your body, the more fluids you intake, the cleaner your system. Okay, the cleaner your body. Okay, so you need to get rid of those excess purines. Now, the way that you do this is by drinking copious amounts of water. I'm not talking about gallons and gallons and gallons of water. I'm not talking about drowning yourself. I'm just talking about be more conscious of how much you're drinking. It's very, very simple to go 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours, sometimes longer, without having a drink. You may be busy at work, you may be traveling quite a lot, you may be in a place where it's difficult to get to a bathroom, a toilet, so you may be concerned about drinking, but hey, you know, screw it. You need to drink water, okay? And you need to flush your system. Now, you need to do this consistently, and you need to keep doing it every single day, okay? So we have rule number 1, get rid of your purine-rich foods. Rule number 2, flush the purines and the uric acid out of your system with water. Okay, now you can get your water from anywhere. You can get your water from fruits and vegetables, you can get your water from the tap, you can get your water from bottled water, you can get your water from cups of tea, whatever. Just get it in your system, okay? Scrap the beer. Okay, guys and girls, scrap the beer, scrap the wine, scrap the cider, scrap all of that. Just for now, okay? You guys can reintroduce this stuff once you feel like you're ready, okay? I don't want you guys thinking, oh, do you know what? I'm not listening to this. I'm not getting rid of my beer intake. You know, leave it out, mate. I know. I'm well, I used to be a big drinker. Okay, not so much anymore, but I used to be. Okay, so I know how you guys are feeling. I know exactly, you know, where you're at here. You thinking, yeah, well, I could take my tablets and I'll be fine. You know, I mean, we're talking about your medication costing, I'd say, probably the price of a couple of pints every month. Okay, do you really want that extra expense? Okay, do you want to be at a point where you think, oh, do you know what, I've gone on holiday and I've forgotten to take my medication. I can't drink on holiday now because I'll be in agony and that's going to ruin my holiday. Is that it's your choice, guys. It depends on how bad it is and you know, kind of how much you want to get it out of your system. Okay, but my advice is just drink as much water as you possibly can. You know, on a safe scale. Don't think I want this gout out of me, I'm just going to drown myself in water. But drink, you know, as much water as you feel you need to drink, okay? And be consistent with it, guys. Don't go, you know, a day and go, do you know what, I haven't had much of a drink today. Keep it consistent, okay? Because once you keep that consistency, then, you know, you'll start to feel a difference as well, okay? Because you've got to remember, you've impaired your liver and kidney functions here, okay? They're major organs within your body. You need those, guys. You need them, okay? Toxins in your body, in your bloodstream, you know, your liver and your kidneys, Very, very important here. Okay, so make sure that you're looking after them, guys. Okay, I'm not saying stop drinking beer completely or whatever your poison is, but it's all dependent on how quickly you want this out of your body. Okay, guys. So rule number 1. Get rid of purine-rich foods and drinks. Okay, so your red meats, your beers. And rule number 2, get your water intake. Okay, get that intake up and make sure that you are hydrated constantly. Okay, guys. And then we'll go on to rule number 3. Guys, rule number 3. Okay, so you've done rule number 1. Okay, you've cut out the purine-rich foods. You've done rule number 2. You've consumed a lot of fluids. Okay, you're doing really well. Okay, stick with me, guys, because I know it's a lot, because you'll feel like you are changing pretty much your whole life and diet. In a way you are. Do you want the pain? Do you want to have to take medication which has side effects? That medication has a lot of side effects. Just pull out the leaflet which comes with the medication. Read the side effects. You'll be amazed what kind of side effects your medication will cause. I'm going to post a link for that as well, guys, because I think it's really important that you guys know exactly what it is. Because that is going to affect you on a day-to-day basis, almost as bad as the actual gout itself. Okay, so check that out as well. Now, the third rule and final rule is you need to eliminate anything that's kind of left, really. Okay, so we've gotten rid of the purine-rich foods. Okay, but your body is still in a state of shock. Okay, so your body's still thinking, oh my goodness, I need to produce all this uric acid. And those of you guys that don't know uric acid, what it does is it forms as crystals around your joints, and as these crystals break down, it literally feels like somebody is going at your joints with a pair of pliers. It's that painful. Okay, so you need to kind of correct your body. Okay, now the way that you can do this is actually, you know, there's 4 things that I used. Okay, as I say, it's completely different for everybody, but this worked for me, and it was very, very, very simple. It wasn't massively unpleasant, all depending on how you consume these things. There's many ways you can actually consume these things that I'm going to list, and I'll put some links for those guys on here as well. The reason being because just consuming these things on their own, or in, you know, the simplest fashion that you possibly can, you're not likely to stick at it, because well, I'd say 1 out of the 4 things is quite difficult to kind of take in without a little bit of help from other ingredients. So the 4 things that I would list as amazing for detoxing these parts of your body. Okay, now you've got to remember as well that the liver there is actually our detox center. Okay, so anybody that talks about detoxing, it's not rubbish, it's not ridiculous, it's not a stupid idea, because generally when people say, oh, I'm on a detox, and they'll consume fruits and things like that, it's going to be beneficial, but not in the way that they feel it is. If your liver isn't damaged, if your kidneys aren't damaged, why are you detoxing? Your liver does that for you. That's what its job is. Without your liver, there'd be some incidents that's going to make you very, very unwell. So what I would suggest is these 4 things. Consume them daily, as much as you possibly can, with every meal if possible, in between meals. Of course, I'm not a doctor, guys, so you know, I just want to kind of use that as a kind of a disclaimer. I don't want anybody being sick because they've consumed too much of this stuff. But it's worked for me. So the first thing that I would say, and probably my favourite out of all of the ingredients, is black cherries. So black cherry juice. So if you can get black cherry juice in your system, black cherry juice is absolutely brilliant for getting rid of purines in the body. Now you can actually have black cherries, or you can actually have black cherry juice. Okay, get it in you. Drink that as part of your fluid intake as well. Perfect. If you can get concentrated black cherry juice as well, mix that with the water, even better. Okay, now what you can do is you can mix this with the second ingredient, which a lot of people will find hard to stomach because it is very, very strong, very, very potent, quite difficult to just consume on its own. Careful as well because it will stain your clothes and possibly your skin as well, and that is turmeric. Okay, now turmeric, you'll find that in a lot of Indian dishes, so curries and things like that. When mixed with other things, it can taste absolutely brilliant. On its own, not so much. What you can do is you can make things with it. You can make drinks with it. You can mix it with the cherry juice, so it is easier to kind of stomach because it's not very pleasant on its own. It's very, very strong. Okay, but get that in you because it's an antimicrobial. Okay, it's going to kill any kind of illnesses that you have. As I say, I'm not a doctor, but this is from what I've kind of I've witnessed myself. It's worked for me. Okay. The third thing is celery seeds. Celery seeds, really, really good at cleaning the blood. Okay, now your main issues you've got here is you've got uric acid in the blood. Okay, so you need to get rid of that. Now you can do that by cleaning your blood. Okay, now there are other things that clean your blood as well, certain herbs and things like that, but celery seeds, really, really easy. I mean, if you like celery, you're in business really, because if you sprinkle celery seeds on any food, it doesn't matter how strong that food is, it will taste like celery. It's just the way it goes. I personally really like celery, so I'm okay. But yeah, get that on your food if you can. If you really, really can't stomach doing that on every meal, then that's fine. Just get it in as much as you can. Okay, and of course, the fourth ingredient is, which we've already spoken about, is water. Okay, guys, so black cherry juice, turmeric, celery seeds, water. I smashed this out for, I'd say, a good 3 months, 3-4 months. I was probably cured before then. But after that time, I stopped consuming those things. Of course, I'm still consuming water. Every now and again, I will have one of the other things, but not because I'm trying to cure gout, just because it just so happens to be in the food that I'm eating. Okay, and who doesn't like black cherry juice? I mean, it's great. Little bit sour. If you can get sour black cherry juice, even better. It's just fresher, I think. But get those things in your system. Consume them daily. Keep going until you feel that you can come off your medication. Then try and come off of your medication. Continue to consume these things and follow these 3 steps. Continue to do that whilst you're off your medication. Okay, and if you don't have any relapses, if you don't have any symptoms, any pain or anything like that, keep going. Don't just stop because you may have just kind of culled the symptoms for a short period of time. Okay, so keep going with that, and then when you feel like you've done it for long enough, okay, of course, if you can keep going, just keep going. I mean, it's not gonna harm you. It's not gonna harm you to do this unless you're allergic to any of the ingredients that I've listed. But keep going, and once you feel like you've done it for long enough, then go and request a blood test for your doctor. Don't take your medication. Okay, because you need to see if it's worked. Of course, if you're feeling pain, then get back on medication. Like I said, I don't want you guys to feel any pain or anything like that at all. This is just my experience that I've had. So then go to your doctor, get yourself a blood test, check your liver function, check your kidney function, and see what your levels have gone down to. If they are down to an acceptable level and you haven't consumed your medication for over a week before you've had the test, or even over a month. Okay, if you don't feel like you need it, then don't take it. It's the same with anything really. If you don't feel like you need it, don't have it. you will get your blood test results back, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Still, I would continue to live a life where you are cutting down on your purine-rich foods. I mean, me personally, I will drink rarely, and I don't drink to excess anymore. I think that was the main issue with me. So don't drink to excess. Keep yourself healthy. If you can keep yourself fit as well, then that's always going to help, because it will increase your circulation. Okay, so anything that you do to your blood will have a quicker effect on the rest of the body. Okay, guys. So this is my video regarding gout and curing gout and being kind of symptom free. As I say, I haven't had medication for over 5 years now. Officially no longer have any issues with gout or anything like that at all. If you guys have got any questions or anything like that you want to ask me, by all means, you can. I'll pop my email address in the notes as well, and of course you can comment on the video. Please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll let you know when my next video is out. I'm going to talk about some other things. I've got quite a lot to say, as always. So yeah, if you would like to do that, then that would be great. Let's keep this going, guys, and try and cure as many people as we can without the use of medication. Great, and as I say, my name's Velo, it's Flat29, and until next time, cheers guys.